No, we're not in Phoenix. We're in Salt Lake. On our way to Phoenix. We are tourists. This is our documentary on our Grand Canyon trip. Real plane.
You'll see a lot of
Hey, hey.
Ah, don't do that, honey, because you show all my wrinkles.
Oh, yeah. The
the
camera taker.
Danny.
You've been behind the camera all day.
Your Helen was not changed. There you go, Jeffrey.
Way to go, Squirt.
Cool. The water's like bath water.
Oh, boy.
He's coming.
Okay.
Hey, hi,
Hi, Sheila.
How you doing?
Good. How you
Goodness
doing?
sakes, I'm fine. Hi, Paula.
And Dan, Greg. Greg
This is
Mitchell.
Greg, my boyfriend.
Greg.
This
How are
is
you?
Paula and Danny.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's been so long.
I know.
Yeah, you're.
I really can't remember the last time I saw you.
I know.
We saw some neat pictures of you though in the studio.
Do you know that I'm 28 years old now?
Oh my gosh.
So,
28. Where's the little one?
Right
Is he gonna
Getting
go
his
swimming?
swimming suit.
Jeff?
Yeah?
There he is. Yay, Jeffrey.
You don't even remember me, do ya? Oh, she was a baby the last
Yeah,
time I saw
probably.
him. Really? Hi, Jeff.
Maybe at Joni's wedding. Would have been.
Hey, we're camcording each other.
Yeah.
These video cameras are going all over the place.
Hi guys. Hi Tom.
Yes,
Hi,
Aunt
Lise.
Helen. We're starting to together. Hi, Aunt Helen.
Did you bring your suits?
No, I didn't know it was a swim party.
We just decided to swim.
It's not like you live a long ways away.
Yeah, really. I only live like 30
I don't know if I
That's Skylar.
That's Tyler.
He's about 7, I think. 7 years old.
He'll be 7 in November.
In November.
He likes to swim. He goes every day. He goes for a swim.
Hi, Dad. You didn't even say hi to me.
Who is it?
You didn't even recognize me, huh? I haven't seen me for so long, huh?
Oh, that's Sheila.
That's your daughter.
You should see my bed, Dad. My bed comes to my belly button.
Huh?
My bed comes to my belly button.
See?
I had to call him and tell him I need a different frame.
You might get kind of used to it. You
But
might like
it's
it.
not. It's a lot higher than yours. I mean, I literally have to. I can't get on it like this.
It's to here. It's
I
to
have
here.
to crawl up
Yeah.
on it. But I want you all to come over and feel how soft it is. Don't you dare.
Where's your in?
Daddy stepped on your toe.
Hey, Dad.
I might be able to get
What?
used to
No, I wouldn't do that.
Marie,
that lake up there.
Yeah.
did Lisa tell ya? Please, I said.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like ours.
It was $1,299.
Yeah.
It was the last series.
buffalo.
There again, Denver.
Yeah.
Lime juice. Key West lime juice.
After a fantastic meal with succulent moist turkey or chicken, we've got key lime pie that Lisa made from scratch, especially for Paula and myself from Florida.
Yes, we are at Prescott National Forest, like you don't know that, and we're a few miles from Jerome, and we've had some really nice sightseeing. See?
About 6,500 feet in elevation. We're going to go down a steep grade, about 12 miles. Put it on autofocus. It'll focus itself.
Well, I'll have to leave you now. Goodbye.
Our car broke down.
Our car didn't break down.
Oh yeah, the rental car broke down.
It just smells funny.
Okay, the rental car smells. But look over there.
Yeah, look up that way. That's gorgeous.
Which way first?
That way.
To the right.
That way.
And to the left.
Out there is Jerome.
Tape all the rocks. To the rocks.
Here, Jeff, that way. See
Do it up there.
I'm doing it up there.
No. Oh, Jeff, no. Okay.
We're at the Jerome State Historical Park and Museum, where we learned that this used to be a copper mining town.
It's the largest ghost town in America.
Oh, largest ghost town in America. Used to have 15,000 people living here and now only has about 500. And a lot of the houses have slid down the hill because of all the mining shafts that are underneath. Plus it also has a fault that every once in a while will slip. A lot of those buildings that you see on the side are abandoned now. Those are some of the cars that they used to bring the copper ore out of the mines with. There's some remnants of the mining operation. The scenery up here in Jerome is fantastic.
Did you mention about it being the oldest ghost town, the largest ghost town?
Jeff did.
Okay. And did you mention about that being the ghost town over there?
Yeah, I said a lot of the buildings are abandoned now. Thanks, Lisa and Tom, for directing us to come by here. we wouldn't wanted to miss it. We're just entering Red Rock State Park, just south of Sedona. Jeff didn't want to get out because he didn't want to put his shoes on.
Hi.
When we went to the state park office, there was a call that there was a fire in the park. And sure enough, there goes the fire engine.
This is Red Rock Loop.
Well, there you see it. Red Rock Forest.
Still hold on to your own individuality. So, for a game, what I like to do is put you and Jeremy back to back. Take a picture. Put that in the background. So then you can blow it up and put it on. Well, I'm sure you guys do, because you and everybody else does. Appreciate anything I do. And then you can blow it up, put it on the refrigerator, and you'll always be reminded.
That's a real...
Wait, he's on which side? He's on the left, man's on the left, the woman's on the right.
Hello.
Hi.
Get on your butt and slide. Safer. Aren't you gonna get in?
Yeah.
Sit down. Jeff, don't try to stand up. Your feet are wet, so they're going to be slippery. Don't try to walk on that. Sit down.
Kenny, just stand there. Ken. Kenny, just stand there. I want to take a picture. Just stand there and look at me.
Don't slip.
The water feels great. You should dive in down there. It's not really that cold. The only thing when you're going down this thing.
What do you think? Does he look cold? Don't fall. Don't fall. Are you hot? Is it cold?
It's cold, but it hurts your butt when you go down there.
Going again? No, it's too cold. Don't fall. Don't stand up.
Keep going, hon.
Sit down.
Keep going. Don't take the bottle.
Well, waiting for Jeff. I like your bathing suit. Park closes in a half hour. You got her watch.
Find it? Okay. Have Deb put in his pocket, I guess. Or else put
It's actually 6:39 p.m., not 7:56 a.m. Well, do you think she's going to do it?
Doesn't know how far it is.
There she goes. Everybody's cheering you on. How many bruises? You can't get out from down there. Jeff, look for a place for her to get out.
Yeah. Come around this big rock.
Yeah?
Don't start an avalanche, Jeff.
What time is it?
6:46.
Okay, what next?
Walk up.
Just go right up the side of the cliff.
There's nothing to hold on to.
You need some help?
Jeff, I don't know. I'm so heavy I pull you down.
No. See, he's.
Okay, we're right. How about this one?
Well, looks like she's going to need some help, folks. That's the end of the show.
We've tried a different way of coming up. We were trying to get up right here, but we're getting up here now. And we
We're just leaving Slippery Rock Park.
Rock Slide Park. Slide Rock Park.
Oh, I'm sorry, Slide Rock Park. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we're north of Sedona and just about ready to drive into Flagstaff. Stopping along a scenic view area. Don't know whether you can see it or not, but there's a full moon tonight. Yeah, I think you can see it.
Oh my goodness! That was my mom.
The binoculars
see
from
a
the
deer going to the bathroom.
Let me see. Quick. I'm joking. I want to see the one.
That's just like when Dad was going to the bathroom.
I'm joking.
Took the binoculars from me and said, "Hey!"
We stayed here at the Fairfield last night. We got in about 8:30 and went to eat at Granny's Closet.
Yeah, be something.
And she just is in the kind of a marketing business thing.
And her boyfriend, well, we told you about him.
Yeah,
he
he's
has
at
a,
Indian River Plantation in Stewart. We kept talking about him. Be fun.
He bought him a home down there,
Did he?
fixing it up, kind of run down.
What's his name again?
Skip Alligood.
Skip Allen. Does
Uh,
Barbie ever go to the plantation then? Yeah, did she ever come up to Stewart?
Oh yeah, every weekend, right?
Okay.
She's, I hope she don't do it, but she's got a business kind of lined up that she thinks she's wants to go into.
Oh, really?
Thinks it'll really work.
What kind of business is that?
Selling Christmas trees.
Oh, well, I have some
Little
friends that do that.
artificial ones.
Oh, artificial ones, not.
Well, I don't know, they're artificial trees or,
Oh,
yeah, I think they are.
Looks like it might be one of the rafts that they take down the Grand Canyon. pictures or paintings in the lobby here outside the IMAX theater. Admission is $7 for the adults and $4 for children 3 to 7 or 3 to 11. These are the show times, and let's see. About 15 minutes to show time for the 12:30 show. We're just entering the Grand Canyon. We're going to pay our $10 for our car. See there? There are the rates. There's our complaining son, Jeffrey Morrical. There's your wife, Paula, feeding her face. So you can tell we're all excited. It's 1:21 p.m. You noticed I fixed the clock. Would any of you like to say anything?
Get the camera off.
Well, it's a little windy up here today.
Sorry about what I said.
Jeff wants to go on a hiking trip. We're at the Yavapai Observation Station. There's actually some houses down there. The IMAX theater was really good. They say don't feed the squirrels. So he's going to go find his own food. We're now at the West Rim. We took the shuttle bus, the Village Loop shuttle bus, which dropped us off here at the West Rim. And then we take another shuttle bus along the West Rim, which seems to be a pretty popular bus. We had somebody tell us that if we walk down a mile and catch the next bus, we'd get there faster than trying to wait for this one. So we might do that. Anyhow, this is the view from the West Rim, the beginning of the West Rim.
Ready. See, where do we walk down to? Right on this path?
Yeah. We're walking along the west rim now. I think we spotted a posse down there. Wonder who they're after. Doesn't look like they're in a big hurry though.
They all lined up for a picture.
I think he's probably telling them a little bit about the history of the canyon there. Notice I blew that speck off of the screen.
Well, I had to hand them to me and I had to hold them.
Looks like a one-way trail out there. You get to the end, I guess you either jump or turn around. Got some hikers down there that found the cave, it looks like. Those little ants down there. Yep, those are people. Jeff, don't get too close to the edge. There might be somebody walking down there.
I know.
Those are the cabins over there, the lodges. They're on top of the hotel, I think. Wonder what they charge a night for that. Pretty windy up here. I had to go around this little crack with the sidewalk. It's interesting the way the shadows of the clouds go along the canyon wall. Like they're just climbing up. Oh, there's our horses down there. There's a little thin up here. But Jeff has talked us into going on a 2.5 hour hike.
But
Down
it's
into the-
down in the canyon. It's not as hard to breathe.
Oh, it's not as hard to breathe in?
We shall see.
Okay. This is one of the West Rim lookouts. There's another one over there. Shadows are starting to engulf the bottom of the canyon. Let's see, it's 3:42. We're now going to the general store to get our quart of water that's required for our hike. Well, we're on our way. This is the 2.5 hour hike that Jeff wanted us to go on. We got our water. We're ready to go.
Steep switchbacks that we call the chimney. And this part of the landscape is kind of unique as far as the Grand Canyon goes. If you'll notice, down below me to my left, there is a small fir tree growing, and that is just below the dead tree. Okay? And also there are stick fir trees growing along the cliff to my left. And this is what we call the micro canyon. The Grand Canyon is a series of different climates or environments. And here at the canyon, a lot of people say that hiking from the rim to the river and back is kind of like hiking from Canada to Mexico and back. And to a lot of people it feels that way, especially if you've hiked all the way down to the bottom. Here at the canyon we have a series of what we call life zones. And the upper part of the canyon, the highest areas of Grand Canyon, are on the north rim. And that's about 1,000 feet higher than the south rim. And there are fir and spruce forests up on the north rim. There are aspen trees and wide meadows. If you ever go to the north rim, you might think that you took a wrong turn and ended up in Colorado. And that's what the landscape is like. On the south rim, we have two different forests. One is the Ponderosa woodland. Those are the tall pine trees by the visitor center. If you ever walk up to a Ponderosa pine, stick your nose up to the bark and take a whiff. A lot of people say it smells like butterscotch and vanilla. And then there's another forest, the lower forest. That's what's right above this trailhead. That is pinyon and juniper. And right behind me, I have an example of both. The taller tree behind me is pinyon pine. Down below is Utah juniper. And you'll find wide forests of that all along the south rim. As you move lower and lower into the canyon, you get into our desert environments. The desert environment on top of the plateau below is called the Mojave Desert Scrub, or the Upper Sonoran Zone. And then down at the very bottom of the canyon, we have what we call the Lower Sonora Zone. And for those of you who know you need to know a little bit of geography here, the Mojave Desert is what lies between us and Los Angeles, and the Sonora Desert is what you find in southern Arizona and northern Mexico. And the climates are very similar, and even some of the plant and animal life is very similar. And then here we have the fir trees in some areas because they're well protected by this north wall of the south rim, and so they get more moisture. They don't receive all the cold from the winter, and they're well protected here. So we call them microclimates, and we'll be able to see a better example of that.
Can I get it?
Does anybody know what this layer of rock was 250 million years ago? An ocean, yeah. This was an ocean bed 250 million years ago. Wow. So what would you expect to find in an ocean bed?
Alligators.
Exactly. And along this wall, there are some fossils of some sea creatures. The fossils that we find in the wall include brachiopods, which are clam-like creatures. They're shells. We also find fossilized sponges, and we find some creatures called crinoids, where we find sections of the stems. They're called sea lilies. They're very small, round objects. Where we were. And that's what you have to climb. Don't get depressed. But this is, as soon as we left the shade, you could really feel the change in the heat. That area, like I said, is protected, so few fir trees grow in there. If you look over directly across the canyon from us, you can see the trees, the fir forest in the sunlight. And it grows in a real odd place, but it's well protected there. The trees grow tall along the branches. It's slid down. It's what we call a slump block. It's a piece of rock that's slumped over, and it's actually slowly sliding down the canyon wall, a couple of millimeters, maybe a year. Eventually it's going to pick up momentum and roll across the trail. So keep your eye on it as we walk beneath it. An old agave that's already died, the tall flower spike is done to see. And it's pretty amazing how at this Grand Canyon it can have a chunk of desert facing a chunk of altitude. Probably a mile that it goes by. And the desert here is, like I said, there have different deserts. The upper Sonora and the lower Sonora. That's what the black is, that color that makes desert black. It's kind of a combination between a mineral and a living thing. They're actually living things. The desert varnish, the black.
Pretty windy up here. Sun's starting to set, so the colors are coming through on the Grand Canyon walls.
Yeah,
That's where we were.
And this is where we are.
And that's where we're going. We are on the last part of our ascent. You can see we have a few more miles to go vertically. Really only a few feet. But I thought I would stop and rest for a little while. My lips are a little dry and I'm panting a little bit, but I think we'll make it all right. Where's Mom?
Okay. Well, we'll see you.
Yay! Are we tired?
Yep.
Those are done for the day, and so are we. We may hit a campfire on the way home. Sit around the campfire and
We're not going home, we're going to hotel.
tell jokes.
Corny ones, of course.
Here's the sunset. We're at the east rim now. Got a full moon tonight.
Moon back there like that. What do you think? No flash? Just do it without a flash?
No, do it with a flash.
Okay. This is a pretty time of day to be here. This is worth it. I like the river down there and that rock formation. This is gorgeous here, Dean.
This is the east rim. Was it Desert View?
Desert view. Jeff, look at me.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to look at us.
Look at Jeff Shiver.
It's doing good.
Yeah.
I'd like him to take one of us. Can you turn around, you two? Would you like your picture taken?
What?
Would you like your picture taken?
Here we go. Turn around. Oh, my hat.
Ready? Let me just get you focused. 1, 2.
Toss it down here, folks.
Can you take a picture across my eye?
Okay. Oh, you already have a hat on. All right, all I'm doing is focusing.
Would you, let's get them to get a picture of the three of us.
Got it.
Well, it's time for us to mosey on down the road back to Flagstaff, where we have a hotel room waiting for us at the Fairfield Inn. Sure enjoyed the East Rim though. Sure is pretty.
Desert view.
Yeah, desert view on the East Rim. What do you think, little boy? Oh, you turned off your brain? Okay. What do you think, little girl? Big girl?
Fantastic. Especially like that old building.
Oh yeah, that old building.
Right there, right over there.
Yeah, well,
That old building.
yeah, it's still there. Okay. You like the old building?
No, the sunset just keeps getting prettier and prettier.
Oh, okay. It's prettier now than it was, according to Paula. So, time for us to mosey on back, Jeff? That means That means I'm about ready to fall off of this fence. Alright, let's get in the car. We're at the Sunset Crater Volcano, just about 30 miles north of Flagstaff. July 4th, and 11:40 a.m.
This is Sunset Crater. They think it erupted for about 200 years. This is what they call a park, a long, flat surface. And that's the San Francisco Peaks. There's a lot of deer and wildlife over in that area. Okay, Jeff.
It's called a patchy plume. It gets its name from these little pink plumes on them. These are actually the seed pods. Here's the flower. It's a member of the rose family. Yeah. At the north rim of the Grand Canyon, there's a bigger relative of this, and it's called cliff rose. Its seed pods are much more feathery. What are you walking on? You're walking on cinders. Mustard family. Earlier in the year, it had yellow flowers. These are its seed pods, and they are two together, so that's where it gets its name, twin pods. Watch this wire here. It's electrified. Last year it was just sort of a little plant like that one over by the rock. This year it's sending up its flower stalk. Later on it will have yellow flowers. If you see those stalks behind you there, those are last year's flowers.
It's called a Moen.
They're ponderosa pine. They're a common tree out here, but our trees have a problem. This lava is very high in iron, so it's like trying to grow on an iron skillet. And when we have thunderstorms come through here in July and August, they get hit a lot by lightning. That's what happened to these trees here.
Is that also a ponderosa pine? You call it, you know it's ponderosa because it has such a huge trunk, or how do you know?
No, it's by the needles.
By the needles.
By the needles. I'll show you that in a second.
Okay.
But what happens is if the top of the tree gets killed, then it really doesn't know what to do. Ponderosas have what we call a terminal bud. It's a bud right at the top. It tells the tree, okay, I'm the important one. I'm the one that's supposed to grow. That produces a nice, tall, straight tree. But when it gets hit by lightning, that terminal bud gets killed, and then the other limbs kind of just can't decide, and they start to fight over who gets it. And you get these weird shapes, which are pretty to look at, but it's not good for lumber. That's what happened to this one. The top part of the tree here was killed by lightning, and this one was kind of growing out the side of it. And eventually last year, it got too heavy and it fell over during a windstorm that we had. Now these little flowers you see here are penstemons. They only grow around the Sunset Crater area. They're adapted to the cinder soil that we have here. The stuff you see growing on the lava here is called lichen. And okay, the lichen is a plant and an animal. They can't live without each other. It's called symbiosis. The animal is a fungus. It gives off an acid, which kind of dissolves the rock. The plant, which is an algae, takes the minerals and oxygen and carbon dioxide and makes food for itself and the fungus. These are one of the first plants that will attack, or first things that attack our lava and start to break it down into soil. You can see there are different species. The predominant one is this gray, but we do have some orange and there are some yellow. They come in all different colors. Shows you another problem that our ponderosas have. There's not much soil here. About a foot or two below you is going to be solid lava, just like you see here. Matter of fact, that's all the roots that this tree had. Just went down this far. Well, that makes the tree real top-heavy. So when we have a windstorm, we also lose a lot of trees just because of the root system that they have here. He's disappointed because we won't let him climb Sunset Crater. Let's climb a hill. Stand on this side so you can hear me. Congratulations, you just climbed 20 feet. Oh. So, gives you an idea. Sunset's 1,000 feet high. Yeah. Let's walk down here and get a little bit out of the wind. Volcano. Let me explain what happened here. Approximately 1,000 years ago, the area where Sunset was probably looked like this. It was pretty flat, maybe had some hills, but it was mainly flat. Then we started to get some earthquakes. And then some gases from real foul-smelling stuff started coming out of the ground. The Indians living around here decided to visit friends back further in the mountains. I guarantee it, they got out of here. We know the Indians were living here before the eruption. We found their houses covered with cinders. But they had been abandoned, and so we don't think very many people were hurt, if any. Cinder cones, while very spectacular, are not usually that dangerous. They give you enough warning that you can get away. One erupted in Mexico about in 1940s, and it built a cinder cone about the same size as Sunset within about 9 months. Now what was happening here at Sunset was this. The lava was reaching the surface, and it was being thrown into the air and freezing before it hit the ground. Okay?
Yeah.
And so what was happening was, let me turn around, I want to get my handle. So what was happening was, the lava was being thrown out, it was falling back down. You know how we built a volcano? Right on top there. No, right where I'm putting it. Right where I'm putting it. Okay. All right. Not that big one. That's a bomb. Okay. There's our volcano. Later, we had lava flows come out of Sunset Crater. Now, since this is just a pile of gravel, where the lava comes out, it comes right out the side. And what will happen, it will pull the whole side of the volcano down. And what you're looking at, these hills that you see here, were actually one time at the top of Sunset Crater. As this lava flow came out, it pulled these down onto the top of it. Most of the red cinders are located at the top of the volcano, and these are a lot of red cinders. And so this is another indication. I'll talk about some other things later on in the walk. But you've been actually to the top of the Sunset Crater. It's all right here. Yeah. Short walk. Later we had another eruption which rebuilt the cinder cone, which makes it nice. Usually cinder cone eruptions, when they have the lava flow, that's it. And they're what they call breach volcanoes. One side of the volcano will just be tore away. But Sunset has rebuilt itself. Well, let's go on down here. In one of the old roads that led out to Sunset Crater, if you look behind you here. Before they built the modern road there, this was about the only way to get to the volcano. This kind of gravel you only find in riverbeds, so it was brought in. Talking about the Ponderosa, I know it's a Ponderosa because it has long needles and they're in bunches of 3. That's a Ponderosa. Did you ever notice something really strange about a pine? Put all the needles together. Squeeze all the needles. Circle. Makes a cylinder. That's another indication of a pine. The needles will fit together to form a circle. Yeah.
It's incredible. I didn't know that.
Good nose today. Come around here and smell in one of these cracks if you've never smelled a Ponderosa. You smell anything? This wind is blowing away all the odor.
I've got a good sniffer. Try.
Well, we'll try another tree later on and see if we can...
What do you smell, Jeff?
No, we'll try another tree.
A little pine smell?
We'll try another tree later on. It's a piece of sandstone. It was brought in. Definitely doesn't belong here. Belongs more down in the Indian ruins. So it was brought into this area. Probably when they were building the road, they were using some kind of fill there. No, I think this. This one's a red one. A little bit different. Yeah.
This is kind of sweet.
Go ahead and try it. Look at the crazy woman felling the tree.
Right. I still can't smell anything. I'm all plugged up.
Well, found a good spot here. That's all right.
Might smell like Old Spice. That's the spot I smelled in.
Yeah.
Lost my olfactory sense.
Well, the problem is the wind here. It does have a sweet smell. And it's actually kind of like vanilla or butterscotch.
Yeah, I got it with that whiff.
Right.
When you said butterscotch, I could, yeah, okay.
The tree itself has a sweet sap, and our squirrels will eat the inner bark. But they're pretty smart. They don't get out, try to eat the bark here. They'll get right at the end of the limb and eat off there. And we have little pieces of limb that have been chopped off, and we'll see more of that as we walk around. We'll see it right here. Some trees are just sweeter than others. Now remember, back at the last stop, I said that this lava flow came out. Well, we've had several lava flows. The first flow came out and tore off the side of Sunset Crater, just like I was describing. Later we had other lava flows that came up underneath. Well, the old lava flow didn't have much of a choice. If the new lava was coming up underneath it, the old lava flow would have to crack. And what we're standing in is a crack in the old lava flow. And what that allowed was the new lava to squeeze out, forming this shape down here. Let's come down here and look at this. See it over there? It's called a squeeze up. As the lava came through, it formed a real little crack, but And as it squeezed through, it made the crack bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can see here, look around the corner there, you can see a lot of these squeezes. You can actually see the grooves in the old lava that the new lava squeezed up through. Oh, we're going to get out of the hole, man. Now this is a different kind of tree. This is a juniper. The wood is used for making cedar boxes and stuff like that. The bark, if you feel it, is fairly smooth. Matter of fact, if you peel the bark, the inner bark is even smoother and more fragrant. And the Indians used this to line the cradle boards of their babies. When it got soiled, you just threw it away and got some more. We didn't invent the disposable diaper, I guarantee it. Now behind you is a pine tree that looks like it turned into something else. Actually, there's two trees growing there. One's a ponderosa pine, the other one's a quaking aspen. Here's the aspen. Then its limb goes out that way. That's why it looks like the pine took over, changed species in mid-tribe. Now, remember at the other stop I was talking about the lava coming out and pulling down the side of the volcano? This is another indication of that. This rock broke off from up there and rolled down this hill. Well, that's not a lava flow. There's no lava flow going to be that high. It's going to be down here where we are. So what is that stuff? Well, you can think of the volcano building up the cinders, okay? It's doing that because the lava is from being thrown into the air by gas. Okay, starts to lose gas, just like you open a pop-up bottle and it loses its fizz, okay? And so it can't be thrown out as far. And the lava will be thrown out and it will fall right back down at the edge of the crater, right at the top. And more will be thrown out and it will fall down. And that's what you get here. This is lava that's been thrown out and kind of deposited. Notice all the bubbles are kind of flat. Well, when it hit, what was going to happen to the bubbles? They're going to get squeezed. And so this kind of a formation is only found at the top of cinder cone volcanoes. So this is another indication that this is what we call a raft. The lava actually pulled down the side of the volcano. For 1 million years. So it's only been 700 years since sunset stopped erupting. So it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And we're not sure. We're keeping track of the area.
How do you keep track?
Well, the university in Flagstaff has about 10 or 12 seismometers located throughout this area. And they're keeping track of it. If we do start to get activity, the lava is going to start moving towards the surface, producing small, distinctive earthquakes. And they can monitor those. That's like what they found for St. Helens. But we haven't noticed anything like that, so reasonable safe. The key to it is when you see all the rangers headed that way, you need to worry.
Follow them, right?
Yeah, most eruptions have been out in this side of the tree.
And the last one was 700 years ago.
Yeah. That was the last eruption of sunset.
Okay, and how about it?
Oh, like here? Probably bugs. Bugs eating it.
Isn't that neat? These stars. That's pretty.
By an act of Congress, a national monument can be declared by the President. Okay. If there's federal land, and then he can declare that a national monument. Yeah. Like this was part of a national forest, and so then he can declare it a national monument.
What's kebab mean? When we were over by the Grand Canyon, we took a walks. It was the kebab trail. It's
Kaibab.
How does that pronounce it? Okay.
Kaibab. I really don't know what that word means.
I guess it's an Indian word.
It's an Indian word for something, I don't know. It's the name of the limestone that makes up the rim of the Grand Canyon, and there's also a squirrel on the north rim that's called a Kaibab squirrel. But what it means, I don't know. What you see in the background there are the San Franciscos. They're a composite volcano. That means they're made up of lava and cinders. These make the big volcanoes. St. Helens, Vesuvius, Fuji, Shasta, all of those are what they call composite volcanoes. And all of those can erupt violently with major loss of life. San Francisco, last eruption was about 500,000 years ago. What happened was the chamber it was getting its lava from drained away, leaving a big hole. That is Humphreys, 12,600 feet, the highest point in Arizona. The one on the left there is Agassiz. That's the one the ski lift goes up, if you've been on that.
Is that named after Andre?
No, it was named after a geologist who worked for the railroad, who surprisingly was the first one to put forth the idea of continental drift, which kind of makes it kind of neat. If you look behind you here at these two dead trees, I want you to notice how they're growing. Notice they grew with a twist. The tree is actually twisted. Now, the Navajos have a story about how this happened. Their story goes that the ponderosa was growing nice and straight when one day an owl came and left right at the top of the tree. Well, the tree didn't like an owl in its hair. I surely wouldn't. It told the owl to leave. But the owl is a very stubborn bird, and it said it wouldn't. So it sat at the top of that tree all day and all night. Well, the next day, the ponderosa was really getting angry about this. So when the owl wasn't watching, the ponderosa grew with a twist and twisted the neck right off of that owl. Now, don't laugh. You ever notice how an owl acts when it lights in a tree? Making sure that tree doesn't twist on him again. I like that story. Scientists say that the twist is genetic. When we have winds like this, it allows the tree to twist and it simply becomes stronger. As you walk, you will notice some scars on the side of the trees. I'll try to point out a few of them here. And they're also twisted. They're following the tree. They're lightning strikes. Tree, you can see that light.
I'm using Lindsay. I don't have anything to play with. Oh, you don't? You can play with Tatia. Yeah.
You can play with the camcorder. Nah.
You stop.
Did you cue it up?
Stop. Stop.
What?
Did you cue it up?
Just like Tatia.
Cure?
Cue it up.
Hey, you mean top?
It's not taping over something that we've already taped, is it?
You guys want to do that? Okay.
And then disease and insects will finish it off. But some of them grow for many years. This is called a star fungus. Actually, the fungus lives in the ground and you can't see it, but this is its fruiting body. It'll send this up, and there's a little ball in there that has spores, and it will burst, and the spores will fly out and make more little fungus, or fungi. You know, I was mentioning about the sweet sap. This is the result. There's been a squirrel working this tree, and he gets right out on the end of the limbs and eats away the bark so he can get at the sweet sap. They do that mainly in the spring before other stuff starts to come up. Now, if we look around here, we see a lot of pine cones. And, well, all that's covered up. Thank you. Ah!
Gloves.
You ever have corn on the cob?
Oh, yes.
Okay. There's a pine cob. The squirrels will eat the seeds. They take the cone up and into the tree,
Oh, for
and
heaven's
they'll
sake, and
literally
they just
tear the bracts off, getting at the seed, and when they're through, that's all that's left, and then they wait for a visitor to walk by and throw it on them. I believe that because there's a couple of trees. We've got some good squirrels with good eyesight. These bomb our tours pretty regularly. Again is that crack that we've been following that we walked across before. You can see new lava being squeezed up through the old lava. The new lava is not covered with cinders. The old lava is. That's how you tell the difference between the flows. Now, you have to be careful. Come up here and feel inside that. Feel that. That is sharp. One reason we don't advise people to walk out on the lava flow unless they know what they're doing. You fall on that stuff and
yeah.
Band-Aid City. We get a lot of Band-Aids around here, I'll tell you. I usually go over. The hills you see around you are all mostly cinder cone volcanoes. Sunset actually buried an old cinder cone over here. This little bump is an older cinder cone that Sunset buried. There's another one over here. Across the way are actually something you could think of as cinder dunes. This wind will blow our real small cinders over there, and that's just like a sand dune over there. There are some volcanoes, that's the reason the hill's there, but the side of it is all stuff that's blown in. The mountain you see through the trees over here is called O'Leary. It's a dome volcano. That lava is very thick and gooey, so it's like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. When the lava gets to the surface, it just sort of globs up into a big dome. That's just a big pile of lava. Very solid. They could build a road to the top of it and put a fire tower. Sunset is basically a pile of cinders like we've been walking on. These are purple loco weed. It's the kind of weed you read about in the westerns. The plant concentrates selenium, which is a heavy metal like lead, and it will attack the nervous system, causing the animal to go, quote, crazy. That's why it's loco weed.
Huh.
600 is an old ponderosa. Most of these trees are much younger than that. How much younger, we can't tell, really. Don't get much rain here, so they grow real slow. I don't know how old this little thing is. It could be anywhere from 3 to 10 years old. We do see deer occasionally through here. People ask, what do they eat? There's no grass. Well, deer will eat grass, but they're really what we call browsers. They like to eat on bushes, like the patchy plume that we looked at. Those gray bushes are called rabbit brush. They'll eat that also. So we do find deer here. Last year we woke up one morning, came up, there was a beautiful 2 sets of prints right across the volcano there. Some deer had been up there and wandered over. You know the difference. The deer is smart. The deer's going to walk across. Only humans are stupid enough to try to go up the thing. There are bear and mountain lion in the area, wildcat, gray fox. Those are our big predators. Of course, our major predator is the coyote. We have hundreds of those.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, they yap here every night or so.
Do you have any bald eagles?
There are eagles, bald eagles in the area. We see them mainly in the winter for some reason. I've seen, the only time I've been up here occasionally on vacation during the winter, and I've seen bald eagles.
Now, does this ever cover with snow too? Regularly, or?
Yeah, we get the park here gets an average of 100 The last 2 years it's been well above that. This year there was 130 inches. Last year there was 150 inches of snow. 150 inches of snow is like that much.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about Flagstaff itself? Does it get
Flag gets a little bit more than we do.
more than here?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
We're in what we call the shadow of the mountain. So a lot of snow and stuff will fall on the west side and it blocks it coming in to here. So while we get 17 inches, on the other side of the mountain they get about 30 or 35 inches. So the big forests are over on the other side. Well,
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the walk. I did, even though we not going to be able to hear for a week. My voice isn't going to be good. But I hope you enjoyed it.
Navajo and Hopi Indian reservations are close by here.
We're here at the visitor center of the Walnut Canyon Cliff Dwellings. And we're just about ready to take the walk around. It's about a little less than a mile around to see the cliff dwellings. Walnut Canyon is located just about 3 miles due east of Flagstaff on I-40.
Yeah? It's cool.
Yeah! Wow!
We're at Walnut Canyon now, taking the path down to the hiking trail. This is where the cliff dwellings are. Looks like it was a pretty place to live.
And songs of a thriving Indian community. Archaeologists call these people the Sinagua. They first appeared living in small pit house villages in the cinder fields east of the San Francisco peaks. Around AD 1120, they expanded into promising areas like Walnut Canyon. On the horizon are two landmarks that played important roles in the lives of the northern Sinagua. The high San Francisco peaks to the northwest mark their point of origin. Flat-topped Anderson Mesa, directly south, marks where they finally disappeared from the archaeological record around 1400. Even though the Indians left their cliff homes 8 centuries ago, we are still guests here, entrusted with preserving this unique place and passing it on to the future.
See the cliff dwellings over there?
This is great. Now, That's the Anderson Peak, Anderson Mesa right there. I guess that's the Mesa, Jeff. Hey, come on.
Pear cactus. This is what Lisa makes her jelly out of, or at least the jelly she had. I don't know who made it.
On top of the ruins of a fortified compound protected by a similar site flooded in the canyon is guarded by a 5-foot-high wall over 20 feet long. There are these actually defensive sites and there's archaeologists who so few sites were left intact by the populace, which are functioning in the the only hints of violence is burial excavated near the visitor center. Bones are wooded in the and the archaeologists brushed away the dirt covering the rib cage he discovered in the area. The loss of the lifetime. Unlike those came by the
It's hard to get the beauty of the whole thing in the camera lens. Lead on to the cliff dwellings, to the ruins.
I guess so.
things that told us is that long, it seems like. Chair for somebody.
It's like a little toilet. I would that's their toilet. Don't sit on it. Ah,
No, I don't think so. Could be.
What do you think?
It's pretty interesting.
Is it neat?
Yeah.
no. It's kind of dirty.
Hold on, Patrick, he's taking a picture. Alright, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's looking.
Brian!
Yeah.
That's where they made it for me.
Oh, really? That's what Jeff said. That's exactly what Jeff said.
Somewhere right here.
Oh, really?
They made it for me. That's where they ate.
Uh-huh.
That's the day after the 4th of July, and we have a 4th of July cake.
And Jeffrey made the decorations. He made the flag for us on the cake. We will be eating this cake later today.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Amen.
Throw the ball, Ryan.
Ryan, do something to win
Ryan,
some
throw
money.
the ball here.
This guy do a
Hey!
There we go. That's
Make
so
him do
cool.
a backflip and we'll send it to the video.
He does. That's so cool. Because you're not the dog. The dog's the more good. Catch. What? There goes.
Are you hot, Dad?
Are you hot? I just got like water running off of it.
He drinks 14
Don't let it fall right in your eyes, right here. Yeah. 'Cause that burns the cat. He drinks 4
Ryan.
Ryan.
No pool. Do pool.
I got it. Come here, you can have it.
Actually, let's throw it over there.
Oh,
It's a race.
okay, come back and we'll get it. Come back, right? Come on, we'll get it.
Where'd the other one go, Greg?
Where is that? There it is.
Dan?
Is he out?
Rusty doesn't have it. He's always wanted to have it.
Hello. Did I wake you up? Hey, like a hammock. Looks pretty comfortable. It's about the right length for you too. Here comes Ryan. Look out.
Come on.
This is Lisa and Tom's backyard.
It's the Indian reservation back
Yeah, are those Navajos?
there. Pima Indian.
Pima Indians. That's their reservation.
Dan's stitches. That's a first.
Yeah.
Go in there.
Nurse Becky.
Go bump Mama and she'll stab him.
Just don't make her nervous.
Ah, what an expert.
Does it hurt?
Not yet.
Hey.
This one's real cute.
And here we have our audience.
This one's really deep.
Greg.
He looks like he's gonna
This one's
faint.
really deep.
Wow.
So we're gonna yank it out.
I'm just trying to break it.
She's just trying to break it apart.
Trying to tear the skin away, you know?
Trying to tie the knot. Trying to tie the knot tighter.
What's she doing, Ryan?
See, it's like completely snapped over the string.
Do you approve, Ryan? Where are you? There you are. You helping Mom?
Ryan, look at the camera.
Hey, Ryan.
Look.
Ryan. Right. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. You're the assistant.
Is Mom doing a good job?
You hand her the tools. All you got there is screwdrivers and saws.
Okay, next is a scalpel.
Honey, you're scratching Mommy's leg.
Ow.
Oh,
Sunburn.
oh dear. All right, she's a perfectionist.
Yeah, she's been known to just cut it bigger and he has to stitch it up again, you know.
Oh yeah?
That's what she's doing. She's got to dig.
Thanks for that warning,
You know
Nat.
what, Danny? See, there's this little piece right here. It's completely
Hi.
in your skin. We need a needle.
That one's really bad.
Here, sis. What's gonna come in? Here it is.
Dan, why is it flashing tape?
Dan, did you have supposed to have that long ago, was it?
Ta-da! I'm done. No, they didn't want it. They only
Right.
moved 2 of the 5 before I left because they didn't think it was quite ready. Well, we're just leaving Lisa and Tom's.
Oh, we're rolling.
Yeah.
We had a really nice time.
Yeah.
Take you back anytime.
They really gave us a lot of good hospitality.
Well, thank you. We hope to see you in Florida.
Yeah.
We come back that way.
Send your parents down.
Have a good time in Tucson.
Okay.
Bye, says bye. Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Skylar.
He says hello, Pringles. Maybe I'll come see you in Florida sometime. Oh.
Thanks a lot. Well, we made it to Biosphere 2, something that Jeff studied in school last year. So we'll see what that's all about. It's just outside of Tucson. And it's the 6th, about 2:56 or 2:58. These are some interesting cacti, that we noticed along the path of the Biosphere exhibit.